Hey everybody, Dr. Giggles here from SFNEOnline. Today's video is the release of the interview that we did with Lake Compounce on Friday. And so hopefully you enjoy it. And we're going to be doing more of these. And I want to send a shout out to Lake Compounce, Jerry Breck for setting this up, and for Larry to take the time out of his day to talk with us for a while. And hopefully we asked some questions that you wanted to hear. We may not have the answers for everything at the moment, but it was definitely a great conversation. Lots of great news to be had and talked about. So let's dive into it. And before we do, make sure that if you're new here, you click subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, please click share and leave us a comment. Let's jump into it. What you got, just as a theme park, what you have to do for this, just because it's like, so. Well, I'll start with a question that I know that's not on there, but everybody's going to ask it anyway, and they're going to ask me why I didn't ask you this. Whatever you know of right now, I'm not going to ask about when you're going to open. Not going to ask that. What about preparations? Like, Santa, do you guys have a plan for that yet or no? I'm sure you do.
We do. We've already been in discussion with our local municipalities, the state government. We've put together multiple proposals, even with the Quasi. We've gotten together, and then we're trying to band together to show a unified plan of reopening. So, yeah, we have everything in there from proper spacing to sanitization stations to, how many people can go in a restroom, everything that, and how you even load rides, which is obviously going to be a whole other concern. But everything you possibly think of is in the works, and plans are being outlined daily. And we're working around the clock to try to get all that stuff off the ground, because then you got to purchase all this stuff and secure it and get the masks in.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a pain in the neck.
Yeah, and then you've been to our park, so how do you do them in the front gate? Do you do online tickets only? Do you not? So everything that people are probably asking, there is plans in the works for every part of that, and it is comprehensive. I can tell you the least. I mean, some of the stuff has taken 2 to 3 weeks to even put a document together, just to say, okay, this is what I think we can do, and then from there, it's whether or not the government says, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because the crazy thing that I've been seeing pop up about it is people are worried, businesses are worried about, if somebody gets the virus, can you get sued?
Right.
My thinking about that is, and I know I'm probably a minority in my brain. I mean, I think about it with my business. Like, what if my employee, or what if somebody has it and then we go to a job site and give it? I think, at least in this weird term, my thinking is, well, that there's a possibility. I'm not saying that's what the case is. In my mind, I'm like, well, going that there is a possibility, because there's no vaccine, that you could catch it. I think how to pinpoint it, you could, you couldn't. I don't know. I mean, I'm on the side of just open it up. I want to go. I'm tired of sitting in this house, I think everybody is, but obviously you got to be safe, and I get that. You know what I mean? I know my thinking is a lot different. It's a minority thinking right now, but the way I look at it is... Go ahead.
It's going to be whatever happens is going to be a precedent, when the first happens. But I mean, looking at it myself, it's like, well, could you sue somebody for getting the flu? Because essentially it's a communicable disease. It's not the same circumstance, but to me, it's like, I don't know if you can really track that down to one person or to one place, depending on where the person was. So it'll be a challenge, but that's definitely something that I'm sure is on everybody's mind, whether you're a restaurant or you're, an alley. What do you do? So, one way or another, I think this is going to have a ripple effect into next year too. Some capacity. And I hate to say that, because most people want to hear it. Like you said, the positive when we go forward. But reality is it will have some impact. Let's just hope that the new normal, whatever that is something that we can all live within.
Yeah, I think, and I think. I mean, the way I've been telling everybody thinks I'm like a conspiracy theorist with a tinfoil hat, because everything I said in the beginning has happened, and they're like, you're crazy, you're nuts, and I'm like, no, every little thing I said was going to happen. And I just want people to, if you feel safe, go enjoy it, go have fun. If not, stay home. And my thinking is, when it's going to be so weird, because in Rhode Island, I think everybody took social distancing and masks out the window. Like, I went to Lowe's over the weekend, Nobody social distance. Me and my family, we were like trying to stay. People had masks, not masks. People congregating in the parking lots without them, and people just like, I'm done. Like, so it's just kind of like, and when I tell people like, what are you nuts? I'm like, not me. I had my mask on. I was doing what they asked me to do, you know. But I just can't wait to see what the parks look like with like, you know what I mean? Like if you're gonna put dots or tape or, I mean, I know you guys are talking through, but you know what I mean? Like, how do you social distance? Have you seen the photos of what Disney's done in Shanghai with their roller coasters?
Yep.
How they Is that a talk about like possibly alternate seats?
We're exploring every option, but that is, like you said, obviously Disney is on all the committees that we're on too, to some very informed. You know, they shared that with us and then their internal practices that they were allowed to share, and that is something we are exploring. To what degree? We're still working out those plans, but yeah, you probably will see something of that nature implemented, if not just at our park, probably at Six Flags too, and some of the other bigger parks.
Yeah, it's just crazy. You know what I mean, I don't know if you've talked to Six Flags at all during this, but I notice as a like theme park community, it seems like a lot of the parks are working together. They're just like, what do? We got to be, because the talk is for this year and next year is trust before profit. I mean, everybody wants to make money, but you got to get people back. It's trust before profit. That's what I've been reading about articles, and even the big companies like Universal and Disney. Like, no, we got to get the trust in. Yes, we're going to make money, but we got to get the trust back from the people to get back in the door. It's pretty crazy. Like the things I've just.
We've always had a good relationship with George and Eric over at Quasi. You know, we have even though we're competitors, we have good relationships. And the amusement industry in general, I would say, based upon 20 years working in this field, that most people are very willing to share. You know, even if you are competitors, especially when something like this happens. So, I haven't talked to Pete yet up at Six Flags New England since this has happened, or Jen McGrath. I know her as well. But I know if I did call them and ask them questions, they wouldn't have a problem sharing stuff with me. And because again, we're all in it together.
Yeah, because it's
in this industry, we're really in it together right now. So.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. If, obviously this is going to tear through the industry crazy, is this impacting money being spent for 21, 22, or is that kind of, you don't know yet because you haven't opened?
Well, they opened, but I mean, obviously I'd be lying if I said that, it's not going to have some sort of an impact in some way. But I mean, everything is being explored. I guess it's the same for you too. It's like some people who have a steady job are also looking like, well, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow if this thing gets worse? Should we spend money and do the landscaping? I'm doing to our house, or do we hold off and save it for a rainy day? So, I think everything with every company, everybody's going to be exploring every avenue. But as to what varying degree, again, it's like, when are we opening? Who knows right now? And we kind of get some more answers. There's so much volatility with this. It's a challenge.
Yeah, this is crazy. Now let me ask you about Venus Vortex, because I'm actually excited about this ride. Is it completed, or did you guys get stopped in construction-wise?
Right. Well, we are. It has been delayed. The ride itself, most of the pieces have arrived. Actually, all the pieces have arrived. Fiberglass, the structure. We had put in the foundation work into the ride, and we dug the underground items that were needed to be dug. We put up the pump house, and the pump house is actually pretty close to complete, at least the exterior of it, along with the pumps. But yeah, once this thing had hit, we had plans of bringing in the construction crew and getting everything done, but with the stop order, that kind of delayed that for right now. Yeah.
Yeah, because I keep looking at all the different states, they're lifting orders, like the phases and stuff, and we're just trying to. But like everybody's like, well, when is this one? Because I know Funtown, Splash Town yesterday was like, nope, we're not opening at all this year. They already.
Oh really?
Yeah, they put it out. Well, a letter got sent out from Russ, from Ace.
Yeah.
And there was a news article that came out, and then yesterday, Funtown, Splash Town on their Facebook was like, we're not gonna. I mean, they're in a little bit tougher. They don't have Halloween, Christmas, so. I don't know. I mean, I think that water parks are not even going to open this year.
I think depending on the local restrictions, I think you might be right in some areas. Absolutely, I know. Like I've heard like locally, some of like the pools for like even like the Y might even be impacted. You know, something to that degree. So I hope everybody can get to some comfort level. And it's like we were just talking before. You know, what is that going to look like?
Yeah. Like how do you social distance a wave pool?
Right. That's a whole other. Well, that's a whole other thing. Yeah, there's not a lot of data on that right now, but they're releasing stuff every day on that. So I mean, that's the question. how do you socially distance?
Yeah, I mean, unless you just open it as a pool and you told people stay away from each other, but people are still gonna. I mean, I would feel. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a doctor or a scientist. I would feel all the chemicals that are in the pool should probably kill that.
Right.
There's chlorine. There's bleach. There's chlorine.
Filtration too.
Yeah.
Are in there. So I mean, again, that's what the experts are telling you. But all indications show that it does kill it in the water. But you know, until I see that expert document like you.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, we got an in-ground pool coming sometime this summer. I don't know when they're going to build it. Because I know in Rhode Island they didn't stop construction. They allowed people to continue.
Oh, really?
So if anybody building anything, it just takes a little bit longer to get a permit because everybody's working from home. But you can get a building permit and you can construct things.
I see.
But we don't have any amusement parks anyway, so we don't got nothing.
You're waiting.
Yeah, wait, just open something. I'll take a kiddie coaster at this point, you know? It's just funny.
No, that's understandable.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you know, it's like,
crazy.
Yeah. So again, I'm glad that you guys are getting Venus Vortex because I was totally wrong on the guess because Jerry was busting my chops every time I went to the park and he's like, so what do you think it is? Because you know usually we get all the leaks from places about all the parks. Somebody will leak it to us to try to get. They won't tell you who they are, but you can tell it's somebody from the park trying to get the ball rolling with some. I mean, it could even be like Jerry posing as somebody, I don't know. Who knows? But it's usually somebody I never heard of, and they go, oh, did you know about this? And then if I look at the IP address, it goes, oh, it came from within Lake Compounce and Six Flags. It's usually when they're ready to start letting nuggets go, sometimes park personnel will do that. They don't want people to know that they're leaking it. It's funny when it happens.
Our marketing director and Jerry, the original architect of the front display that we had last year when we were doing the announcement.
Yeah.
Being our biggest water slide that we had, we wanted to get real creative. And obviously you've seen the pictures of what this thing's going to look like. There's a lot you can do with that, with the way that it's structured and designed and the painting that you can put into it. So I think it came out pretty good. And I remember that night, right before we ripped off the top of the container, I was out there with templates, spray painting the ground all the way up to the site, so that way for the big reveal that we had the morning of. It was interesting, but yeah, that slide took a lot of buzz, which was a good surprise because usually most people want to hear what roller coaster are you putting in.
Yeah, that's everybody for some reason wants a roller coaster every year.
Right.
And then I looked at.
We got a lot of traction. Yeah.
Well, you know why? Because it's a big slide. It's got a cool theme to it. And it's something different and new for the area everybody loves a roller coaster. Don't get me wrong, I love a roller coaster as much as the next guy. But I like seeing the parks, all parks, I don't care where it's from, balance out.
Right.
Whether you got dock rides, coasters, flat rides, water rides. It's nice to have a roller coaster, but damn, just the upkeep on them is a pain in the neck.
Right. Well, it depends on what your demographic is, too. You got to rise appealing to as many of the masses as possible. So, obviously we got all that extra space now that we've created in that water park location. And you've been to our park, as soon as it hits 100 degrees, nobody, except for the diehard fans are in the park, they're taking a left going straight to that water park. So.
Oh yeah, because it's so hot. I mean, that's what I do. I go ride the rides. Like usually when in the summertime when there's an ACE event, we go ride the log flume and then once it gets hot, off to the water park, then off to the rides.
Right.
Speaking of the log flume, you guys are adding theming to it now. Adding a little bit of theming here and there.
We did. We added So essentially, we added like a faux wall right outside of the station, and we put some barrels and we put some rustic or eclectic theming around it to try to tie in the story. One of the biggest things that we're trying to do is how do we tell a story with every interaction or every new interaction, or how do we tell that story when you first walk in the gate, when you first see? So we're really trying to figure out ways that we can start to implement those into each of our locations. And some of them still being a fan favorite and being so unique with the way that it's designed and set and the where it is. How do you stay true to what the ride is, and how do you bring it to where we need it to be? And yeah, there is some theming that's going in there right now. Right now, you'll see when you go down the chute, ready to turn around, turn into the station, you'll see a lot of that structure set up. And we're also looking at the building, the pump building, where the maintenance guys work on it. Is we're trying to re-theme that, or we were trying to re-theme that before all this had happened, and put fake facades in the outside and make it look like it's not just a standout building, but something that's a part of the experience so that the guests will enjoy. So
yeah, I mean, when you guys were talking about that at Nor'easter, I was like, wow, that's neat, because I mean, I'm a sucker for theme. I mean, when you look at it, we talk about it a lot. I mean, you guys don't have Disney Universal money, but we use the example of, how we'll use Rise of the Resistance. I don't know if you've ridden that yet or not. That Star Wars ride.
That is unbelievable.
And then you go to Universal and you have Hagrid's motorbike, and it's all about the experience. So we're starting to think that now as other parks that aren't on that level to some degree start doing that, because a lot of people say, not everybody, because people want the experience. People still want record-breaking roller coasters or whatever, but a lot of people that I've talked to and that you see, besides the die-hard, I want record-breaker things, they're like, well, I like a good roller coaster or a good ride, but I like a good story and as much theming as you can. I mean, I have no idea what Rise of the Resistance cost. That had it been $100-200 million ride. That obviously
$1 billion. Yeah.
Well, for the whole land was $1 billion.
Was $1 billion, and Rise of the Resistance was $80 million, over $80 million.
Oh my God! Yeah, see, yeah. I don't see a Lake Compounce or even a Six Flags spending that, but even if you, yeah, I know, right? I mean, when I've talked to Jerry and he's told me certain little things here and there that we don't talk out loud about, but when you get whatever money you get, you can decide what do I want, how to tell the story of this ride if there is a story to tell. Right. Because some rides, I mean, a Tilt-A-Whirl, what kind of story can you? I mean, you could, but realistically, what is a Tilt-A-Whirl for a story? Unless you get really creative. But I would still like to see a story on a Tilt-A-Whirl, but
Yeah, and that's the challenge at every park, locally and small, or even big. Doesn't matter what budget you have. As you just said, how do you reallocate those resources, and what's the priority, not only for the guest experience, but also the maintenance capital, in addition to upgrading things like equipment that might be getting older. So yeah, it's how do you stretch a dollar to really get you the most bang for your buck. So yeah, we're hoping to add subtly in our park slowly as the years go on and things get back to normal, more of that storytelling experience where we can. A couple of our attractions, as have it.
Yeah, because a lot of people, I like seeing it. I mean, the thing that I laugh about parks is a lot of parks rely on an IP because of people, the consumer's brain. But I find a lot of attractions that have IPs aren't as good as the original ones. Like I went to Knott's Berry Farm for the first time in January. And I got to ride the Calico Mine Ride, which is the little train ride indoor. Right. I know it's an older ride, but I was like, that's better than some of the stuff that is new. Just because of the care that they put into the ride, the theming they put into it. I think like an original story can be just as good as Superman or Marvel or whoever. I guess it just depends on the creative team and the story you write. Because I've seen some people in different parks have great stories. Even like Knoebels has Black Diamond. That ride came from one of the Jersey piers, and they just made it look like a like a coal mine, and they just themed it to the area, and it was great. So I like seeing different. You know what I mean? I like seeing all that different stuff myself, but it all comes down to money.
Yeah, it does. I'm in the same boat when I go to theme parks, in my free time when I get there. I don't typically ride with too many of the attractions. I'm more about the environment, the atmosphere, the culture, how the staff interact. So I'm always, oh wow, they hit a speaker into that way, and you didn't even know it was there, or a set machine over here. So I'm in the same boat. I love looking at that stuff as if I'm a guest and don't know behind the curtain of Oz. So I love.
Yeah, it's like when I go to haunted houses, I'm always like, I don't get scared at a haunted house, but I like, how did that work? How did they do that?
Yep.
How are they, because like Ernie that runs the haunted graveyard, he's taken me back there so many times and let me film that haunt so many times. I love the haunted graveyard, and Ernie's such a great guy.
Oh, he's phenomenal. He really is, and his attention to detail is unparamount as anything else I've seen. And it's just he really wants every environment that he creates to be reflective of a movie. Like you're walking off a set.
Yeah, and he does it.
It's unbelievable. So you're some of the stuff you look at him build, and I'm like, you built that at foam? Like, that's clever. I would never even thought to repurpose foam for that.
Oh, yeah, because a couple of years ago when you guys started doing the behind the scenes with him there, two years we went to that, and I was like, wow, that's really cool to see how you build this and do this. And he's not, because he told me, he's like, I don't care if you're filming to take pictures. He goes, everybody knows every trick in the book. Because you don't want to ruin the haunt for other people, but everybody and their mother has filmed Haunted Graveyard, and it still shows that even though everybody's watched it online, you still can't beat the personal experience.
Absolutely not.
You can't, because
he's really taken that product into a whole other category for haunts. He's done a great job. But yeah, his attention to detail and storytelling is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So I'm glad he gave you the behind-the-scenes tour, and you went to the behind-the-screen. You saw the art and he was doing all the makeup. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I really thought I was watching a movie. I was like, geez, that person looks like a real, vampire or whatever it was.
Yeah. I forgot what it was when because I know you guys did it last year, and I didn't do it last year, but I did it in 2018 when you first started it. But so let me move on to Boulder Dash, because everybody asked, the questions that I said you've seen. There's two questions.
Right.
One, if the park does in fact open, are you going to run 2 trains this year or 1, or that might just be demand, maybe. Just depends how busy, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Well, to be quite honest, because this COVID derailed a lot of our extra time, so to speak, we're working on 1 train right now, and it's the hope that if we can get everybody back in there and everything continues to go to plan, at time, hopefully we can reintroduce that second one. But I don't want to promise that. It's going to be a run to the finish to get everything in place that needs to be done in order for the safety procedures to be ready to go to open. So I'd say definitely 1 right now on both coasters at this point.
Yeah, and then the second one was, if you do open, I hate saying this, if you do. I'm really hoping you guys do.
I know.
But because this is the 20th anniversary of Boulder Dash. Is there anything planned for like a party, a celebration? You don't have to get in specifics, but is there anything talked about?
Originally, before all this had happened, we had a pretty good idea of what we were going to do for an event, and until we know more about what any restrictions that we may have in terms of the park, right now it's there, it's sitting there. It's like, can we execute it the way we want it? At the end of the day, to me, you want to run an event that comes out and being half of what it could have been, or should you push it back to when you can do it the way you wanted to show it? So it's possible that we might just do it next year if we can't get it off the ground this year.
Yeah, because I figure, I think once you get, my personal opinion is once you get the vaccine and the vaccine shows that it actually works, it's going to take that fear out, and then it's going to be a recoup thing for everybody. They're saying 1 to 2 years for everybody to kind of get back to where they were before this happened. Which who would ever thought that would happen? But
Well, plus next year, we're going to be celebrating our 175, so it might make sense just to, if we can't do it the way we wanted to the scale that we wanted to, maybe we push that with that. Next year will be the year of celebration, another graveyard. Depending on which season you consider their first season, they're going to be celebrating their 30th year. So, it might make sense to have the year of celebration be next year for us.
Yeah, because,
include Boulder in that.
I kind of like that idea now that you say that, just because once this year is going to be tough for everybody. People losing jobs, people dying, people being sick, people afraid. And like you said, why do it half what you could have did if next year most likely you'll be able to pretty much I'm sure next year will be still some social distancing, but not as bad.
Oh, absolutely.
Me personally, maybe you guys should. I mean, as much as we would love something to celebrate, but you got 175, 30th anniversary of Haunted Graveyard, 20th anniversary of Boulder Dash. This whole environment we're in, I think next year would be the year to just shebang and just be the year of celebration that we can come together again. And
and it's kind of a celebration of the fact that we're through this too. Even though this year we're getting there. So I mean, that's what we're going back and forth on that, but we'll still have something, I'm sure, to some degree. That's a minimum of maybe just a banner or something that acknowledges it. But I think next year will probably be more realistic. So again, it's all depending on what the government would allow us to do and what the restrictions that we're going to have. So I would hate to say that we can't celebrate it, but at the same time, I don't want to put together something that our fans and fan base would consider to be not what it should be, considering that ride is our crown jewel attraction, and I want to make sure we do the justice that we could possibly do to make people happy too.
Yeah, because I think in the long run, if you did something next year, I think you'll get more of the people, because I know there's a lot of enthusiasts that have like underlying conditions, and they're like, I'm not going to go to a park this year just until a vaccine comes out. And I'm like, you know what? That's cool. Like, I tell people, you do you, I'll do me. I don't tell you how to. I know it sounds like a jerky thing, but when you do podcasts or you're dealing with the public, they like to crap on just to do it. They like to crap just to do it. And it's just like, you know what? You do you. You stay in your corner. I'll go in my corner. And then, you know what I mean? It's tough. It's really tough. It's like I try to play like when I'm doing the live show. Like, don't be a jerk to people. I get it. My opinion's different than yours. It's okay to disagree. And then you see where it is. So I tell the older people, I'm like, my father is ridiculous. He's turned 75 this year. He has COPD. He's got all these things. Like, if he got it, it would probably kill him. He goes out every day, wears his mask. He's like, I'm just going out. Go shop. I'm like, dude, stay home. He don't care. He don't care.
Can't tell him anything. Yeah.
No, he's like, I remember years ago he had a silent heart attack. Not even 6 months later, he was back on the roller coasters. He didn't even get full clearance from the doctor. He's like, I don't care. He goes, I'm living my life. I'm not letting something stop me.
Oh, wow.
He's nuts. I keep telling him every day, stay home. He don't want to hear it.
You can't tell your parents anything. I found that out too.
Yeah, I know, because they used to tell us when we were kids. They still tell us, and then they don't want to hear it from us.
Even if you're right. Yeah,
that's crazy. All right, so we only got a couple more questions here. Tell us about Ghost Hunt, because you guys said you guys were changing the hallway to have targets in it.
Right.
You briefly, I don't know.
That's the plan. Right, that's the plan. We're working on it. We got the parts in. Like most companies, we do have a portion of our staff that isn't allowed back on property, obviously. So we really don't have any maintenance going on per se to the degree that we would like. This case, most projects are at a standstill completely. So the plan for Ghost Hunt, at least, was to redo that hallway. Because as you know, when you go down there, you have the mirrors and you have the lights and you got the fog and the laser, but there's not much to shoot at. And if anything, you see people doing things they shouldn't be doing in that hallway.
Yeah.
The camera systems that we have. So the plan was to put in a percentage of targets in that location, in addition to some additional thematics that we've come up with, and working with Megatronics and making sure that it was compatible with their system was important to us. So that was going to be phase one of what we were going to do. So we started the work prior to the cease and desist. I'm hoping we can get it done before our projected opening date. But let's keep our fingers crossed so we can get everybody back.
Yeah, I think right now, I think right now people are just going to be happy that park's open. Never mind the new. I mean, people are gonna want new attractions, but I think this year alone, people are just gonna be, oh, thank you God, I can go to a park and just go to the house, get out of the house, or something, and then I figure out. Even if parks didn't add anything for the next 3 years because of this, I'm still going to enjoy that they're open and celebrate that they're open and not gone for good. Like Indiana Beach was that close of being gone, and somebody came in and saved it. So, I don't want to see any more parks go through that. I want everybody to, I want everybody to survive. It's tough out there, but...
And I hope that, with the upgrades that we did in the past couple of years on that ride, and again, what we hope the experience will be once we get open, and we will get to that attraction, and we'll be open for the date we open. Not sure, but we do have all the parks in, and it is our plan to add a lot more targets in there. And I'm trying to break my own record. I mean, every time I go on there, I only get, I think, maybe 150 to 200,000. I'm terrible. I always get TV screens, and everybody else is. Like a 6-year-old that gets off the ride and gets almost 500,000 points, and I'm like, what did I shoot at that you shot at?
Yeah, I know. I get the same thing. My kids are always beating me. It's like they took away my gun so my kids could win.
Right. Well, I always say, hey, the lowest score wins whenever I got somebody else in the car. So
yeah, there you go. All right, so let's tell me about this creamery. I don't. You guys probably that may or may not open based on what's going on, but. Pretend it's done and what we can look forward to when it does open.
Right. I don't have my drawings here. I'd be able to share with you. Otherwise, I would put it up on the screen. But I mean, the intended plan anyway is the old rentals location at our main gate. After we'd open and we would service the guests that would need those equipment pieces. And that building was essentially dark, and it was not really being utilized. So, we saw last year after we put in Dole Whip for the first time into our park there, that people really, there is a demand for soft serve ice cream, and there's demand even in Briars to a certain degree for, different types of items that have waffle base and cone. So we said, what else can we use at the main gate? And we came up with a concept, and it got approved, and we started the work before all this had happened. And it's going to be probably the most themed, for us, the most themed food location that we would have outside of the crockpot, obviously being what that is. So the idea behind it was to have, as soon as you walk into the particular building, the whole front facade was rethemed, repurposed. We gutted it to look not like a castle, because that's kind of what it looked like. It didn't really match the rest of the decor. So it'll look more like an ice cream shop from the exterior with bright colors and just the overall design. Once you walk inside of the gate on the ground, there's going to be a bluish wooden tile that sinks into the walls, which will be decorated to look like a waffle cone.
That's cool.
We'll be producing our own waffle cone. Yeah, it is. And it's pretty neat. And we'll have a bar set up on the outskirts of the actual building. Within the inside, sorry, but it'll be on the outside of the inside, if that makes sense. And people will be able to sit and charge their phone. So we're putting in a charging station right there at the main gate, so to speak, for at least 4 people to start charging their stuff while they're eating some ice cream. We will make our own cones. We'll make our own waffle sticks. We're looking at root beer floats.
Oh, so you guys are just going all out with this.
Oh, this thing, and we have so many ideas, and I just hope we can bring them all to life. And we have, like I said, we're going to be doing more than one flavor of Dole if everything works out. We're looking at custard, which is a whole nother...
Oh, I've had custard down by the Jersey Shore. That's a big thing down at Casino Pier. Custard ice cream. I never heard of it until I went down there a few years ago. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's very rich in flavor, and so we're going to be bringing that in, and we're looking at another product, Chevet. So we're looking at a whole bunch of different things. And we have all the concepts in place, and there'll be nice granite tiles on the front of the top of the counter. In front of it is like a glass. Will be a glass display, so it'll look like a really themed ice cream shop. And I mean, I'm oversimplifying it, but it'll look good for what we're able to do with the resources we have. And we'll even be pumping in some more scent of waffle cones. So if people walk by, if we have that main gate show, if that was something we're able to do, you're just going to smell all the time at the main gate that waffle scent.
I love that smell. That suckers me in to get ice cream every time.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I just think it's going to enhance the experience from the moment you walk in the gate. Even if you don't end up sitting down and eating there or charging your phone or working in the experience, just to see a building that's that colorful and bright and decorated, I think just adds to what we talked about before, the overall experience. So I'm very excited for the fact that we're going to have something right at the main gate that people are going to notice as a major change for us. So I'm excited about that, assuming that we can get it off the ground and finish it open.
The weird thing, I think, and I don't know if you guys could or would do this, I probably. I'm going to throw a day. You don't have to tell me nothing. Say July you open. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Say you open, but you couldn't get to do that. Would you just halt construction until the season closed, or try to do it while the park's open?
I guess it really depends as to how far can we get before that opening day.
Yeah.
If the restrictions are lifted and everybody goes back to work and we're able to get a jump start on that, we're working on everything else. I guess we'll reevaluate. But I mean, it's my hope that because of where it sits right now, before we have to stop working, I think we'll have it pretty close, if not completely done by the time that we may open. So it's just whether or not we'll be able to get the health permits and everything else that are required in order to do it. So, that's going to be the next question. But it's close enough where I think we might have it at some point when we open this year. So I'm excited about it, but I hope it's for opening day.
Yeah, that'd be nice, because I'm a sucker for that stuff. I love Dole Whip. I love custard, and ice cream. So it'll definitely be something that I get every time I go there. It's kind of like Dunkin' Donuts. I love that you have a Dunkin' Donuts. I love that. It's like
iced coffee in our area. I mean, I do iced coffee all year round. Doesn't matter if it's 10 degrees below.
Oh yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah. My wife laughed and she says, "It's like 10 degrees. Do you want hot coffee?" Oh, I want iced coffee.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like when you guys put in that Dunkin', I don't know how many years ago that was, 2, 3, 4 years ago. But I was like, yes. I'm like, I can get it done, because I hate to say it, but I hate other parks' coffee. Like when they make it themselves, it's not.
Right.
I know it's different. Some people love it. I don't. I'm stuck on Dunkies, and that's just what I drink.
If the coffee people or it's like beer people, they typically have a specific taste, and that's what most people want. So you're right, to have a generic, quote-unquote, park coffee sometimes doesn't always work.
Yeah,
We do have things like Nespresso. We have Nespresso that we sell at the park too, but really Dunkin' is the primary driver. I mean, as people say, America runs on Dunkin', so, you gotta go there.
All right, so the last stupid question I have for the day, I like to ask people is, if you personally could add a ride to the park that you don't have, what would it be?
Me being selfish, I suppose, is I am a sucker for a good dark ride. I like the experience, and I know we talked about it. I don't know if that'll make it into the podcast or not, but like the Rise of the Resistance is a primary example. Is, I went in there not reading anything on that attraction because I heard it was good, and after the 30-minute attraction was over, I got off it saying, "Holy cow, this thing is so well put together that." I love anything that's an experience, and not that that's necessarily a dark ride per se. And I know somebody in the fan group like, "That's not a dark ride." I understand. I like the experience that it produces, or even the Six Flags experience with the Justice League experience.
Yeah.
I just think if you can get out of a car with your entire family, you can. Every time you get on it, it's different, and you guys can have a conversation, and you live the story.
Yeah.
Back to what we were talking about before. So if I had a choice personally, and we had the space and obviously the budget and everything else was making sense, I would love to put in something that the entire family can experience together. Not necessarily the extremists of the roller coaster or the water park people. Something that the entire family can go home and like, that was really cool. I want to go on that again. So I'm kind of stuck with a dark ride type attraction.
Yeah, it's like, see, I love when I go. Ghost Hunt is one of the rides that that's a must. One of my first rides. When it opens, I go ride it. It's such a great ride. I wish other parks, I get it, budget, room, space, how much money, what can you do? And I get that, but that's why I feel every park should have a dark ride, period. And you can tell us, like Disney and Universal, they're the masses of telling a story in a dark ride, and I get that.
Absolutely.
But they got the crazy stupid money to blow. When you have a smaller company like you guys, you take whatever you got, you make the story you got, and that's what you got. But when you guys did Ghost Hunt, to me, you nailed it because it's a fun, goofy ride. Like, I love it. Has that neon look, and you can shoot at it, and it's, it's ghosts and stuff, and I like that stuff. So, to me, Ghost Hunt is a hit to me. And we all know it's a busy ride. Everybody loves it. That should show other parks that don't have a dark ride, if they can swing it, get one.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all held up over time. I mean, I ride 1998 till now, and I mean, we've done several upgrades. But yeah, I would agree with you 100%. If you can keep up with the IT and the technology and everything else, there's something about it. I just love the full experience, and that's where you can tell a completely unique story to your park or even to that area. And in a way that I think sometimes you can't tell that story in a flat attraction or a wave swinger or something else necessarily. So, I agree 100%. So that's if I could choose, that would be what I would love to see.
Yeah.
A massive attraction like that. Yeah.
So, one thing that came to my mind that I saw, the attractions that you have, are they still waiting to be worked on because of what's going on? Because you can't, obviously nobody could be in there working, so everything's just.
Right.
Now, when they go open, when the state says you can open, how long from open to when they say that to you can you actually open? Because I hear like wide room, it's like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months. I hear everything all over the place. I guess it just depends on the park.
Well, it depends on the park, and it depends on the attraction, depends on the people. There's a lot of variables, Even if you hypothetically had your ride at 100%, the second you flick the switch to go test it, something happens. You got to replace the wheel, you got to get a bearing done, or a light, or electrical. So, I mean, even if it's ready to go, you still have a lot of checks that you have to do to get it to that point. So, to answer your question, it really depends. We do have some attractions that we were able to get ahead of prior to the shutdown, so they're pretty close. So we'll have a good selection, at least at this moment. If we were to open hypothetically, let's say tomorrow, we'd have a good selection of attractions that we could do. But certain bigger rides that take a lot more parts or imported parts that may have gotten stalled because of everything that's happening, those will be coming online,
as you get the stuff.
A week or 2 weeks, as you get it. But, the point is we're going to make every effort that we can to get them up and running as best we can. We got a couple things out. Like, did they talk about at the event the carousel? Did they talk about any of the refurbishment?
A little bit, and I don't remember what it was. What was it?
I have a couple pictures here of a horse. So obviously, that's one of our oldest attractions in the park. So we're trying to keep these as updated as possible. We're working with the New England Carousel Museum, which is in our backyard.
Yeah, that's like right around the corner. I see the sign for the Carousel Museum and all that stuff, like really close by and all that.
Let me see if I can share this with you. All right, so you should be getting an image in a moment.
Yep. Oh, so it's all sanded down and.
Oh yeah. We're doing the best that we can to fully restore our carousel back to the original schematic, the original coloring that the horses once had. Back in the old 1898 when this thing was originally carved, 1911 when it came to our park. But over the years, you had to do updates and upgrades on all of them. But we took a step back last year and we said, okay, we want to try to get this as close to original as we can. And we partnered with the Carousel Museum, and this is Peekaboo, which is our lead horse.
That's right, the lead horse. Yep, I remember that now. Yep.
Yeah, he's a non-jumper, and so they just finished patching him right now at this moment. So they gave me this I think about 4 days ago. Is an example of him, and then one of our other horses that we sent them. You can see right here, they've taken it down to bare wood, and they're trying to match the colors as best as they can to the original as best they can. Things like the jewels that go around the saddle and the glass eyes. They had to find a manufacturer that still produced those for these style horses, and we're trying to get as close as we can to the original viewing of that. So within the next 5 or 6 years, assuming everything continues to move, it's our goal to continue to update something like this, which most people would say, well, that's not a new ride, or, how can we not put... We also got to take care of the history of our park.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to, of course.
And I want to make sure that attractions that are classics like this still get the love and attention that they're going to need, and this is just an example of it. I wish I had taken the picture of the new horse they sent us right at the end of October, but I mean, they did such a great job of restoring it that I think that the people who really are passionate about carousel are going to see the effort we're trying to make there. So we're doing other things in addition to adding quote-unquote the rides, or, as you said before, upgrading those hunts. We're trying to invest some of our capital into things like this to preserve the 175-year history that we've established with our local clientele and worldwide clientele now, but we're doing it this way. So this is just one example. But
yeah, no, that's awesome, because that's one of the things that we always talk about, because everybody's trying their best to find any content and things, so things pop up, and they're like, well, what if, like, the parks, instead of adding a roller coaster or adding a ride for a couple years, spend that money that they were going to spend and, beautify the parks, more flowers, paint,
absolutely,
do everything. Like, I get it. Like all the parks that you guys try, that bread and butter is you put a new attraction you think the public likes, and you hope through marketing people come and go, I love this ride, or they'll go, I hate this ride, or whatever it is. But I think, me personally, like if I was a theme park owner, I would forego the next 2-3 years of getting a new ride and just spending it all just making the park look great. I know a lot of people like, oh, but I want a roller coaster, and I want a dark ride, or I want a flat ride. Be thankful that they're open. Like, reopen when they do.
Also, right. And I would agree with you on some of those points, too. And one thing that we had started, and luckily we finished most of it, is, obviously we were going to put in Venus Vortex for this year, and everything is going on plan, and then this thing happens, and now it's stalled. But we also, including into that, you have to consider, okay, if you had a new ride, bring more people, where are they going to sit? Do you have enough benches? And then you have to think, do you have enough bathrooms? Are they updated? Do you think you have enough shade? So to answer that, we also put in for this year, and I don't have any pictures, but we put in, I think, 8 shade structures, or maybe 10. It might be 10, throughout the park. So, and they're bright in color, you can't miss them. So our Kittyland area, prime example of that, where our show is, we didn't really have a lot of shade other than the natural shade of the tree. So we added these giant awnings now, so just to take some pressure off of the heat. Some of our food patios got the shade. Over by the weight swinger, you'll see there's these 2 gigantic metal structure umbrellas. So we're investing into things like that. We're investing into more park benches, some metal benches besides just the wooden slotted ones. So hopefully those will be in depending on their time.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we don't know nothing anymore.
It was made to order. So we can hope that's coming in. And then one of the biggest things that isn't necessarily as flashy, to your point that you made before, but you do have to consider is the restrooms.
Oh, yeah.
In my opinion, if you have a dirty bathroom, that's the worst thing for business, and people's perception of safety all comes from the cleanliness of your park. So bathroom maintenance and upkeep is important. So, we've struggled in some areas over the years, but this year we did put a significant investment into our restrooms to upgrade the partitions and the look and the theme. So it's pretty close to complete. We're going to have to tweak that before we get open, but we have those plastic partitions at the main gate now. Everywhere was done. We put in tiles to the other side of the old bathhouse. If you ever walked into that bathhouse, which is the second oldest building, there's a lot of things that we have to fix in that particular location, but one of them was the women's side had a brand new tile, but the men's side kind of looked a little like it needed some attention, and so we were able to address that this year and get that up to grade, because we want the whole experience to be there. So yeah, we've invested a lot of money this year into our restroom facilities to try to make them.
Well, I mean, it's good though, because even though park guests, a lot of them are like, well, where's the new ride? I wanted the new ride.
Right.
Well, you know what? To make sure down the road you get a new ride, we keep the place going and keep it good. Because if not, if it starts going downhill and you guys neglect it, well, then people stop coming, because if the park looks like crap, they're going to go, well, are the rides safe?
Right.
But I've never seen, since I've been going to the park since, I first heard of Lake Compounce in 2008, was the first time I ever heard of Lake Compounce, and I've been going ever since, and I've never seen disgusting bathroom. You know what I mean? Like, I've never,
right.
You know, I've seen things pretty much well kept, and I was like, oh, I don't feel unsafe in here.
Right. I mean, every park has good days and bad days.
Oh, yeah.
That's the goal. It's all depending on the top management all the way down. If you don't believe that bending over and picking up trash is important, it's hard to sell that to your staff. If you don't believe painting something every year needs to be done because nobody will notice, then eventually people will start to see it. So to me, cleanliness and painting are in one sense, are very similar. Nobody will ever know that you did it, but they sure as heck are going to know when you don't. It's very evident, and I don't want people to even know that that's a part of the experience that we do. It's one of those things that's hidden and not seen, but definitely taken care of for the experience.
No, I agree. I mean, you guys do that. Like I said, I've never had an issue. I've never seen it dirty. I've never seen the bathrooms disgusting. You know what I mean? The food's never been gross.
Right.
So.
And I appreciate that, and that's because our team believes it. You know, and I can't wait till we get to the point where we get them all back and start to give them the experience and the culture and get them excited for the summer. So yeah, I mean, it takes an army to make that park look the way it is, and that's every park.
I know one of the employees, Zach. I forget what his name, Parker or something like that. He's operating. He's going to be a ride operator for this year. He was hired before the virus, and he's like, I can't wait. He goes, this is killing me. He's like, I can't wait to go back there. He loves working at the park, so
Yeah, we had to change everything. Online interviews, which is something new to us, and typically we did casting and things of that nature. So yeah, we've had to reinvent a lot of the processes that we had established over the years because this forced us to. So one way that's a good thing is sometimes you look at the same thing over and over again, and it can become stale if you don't change it once in a while.
Oh yeah.
It's like, wow, how do you do it? So we've gotten very creative with the team that we have, and I'm very proud of where we're at right now. And I hope once we do get to that opening day, whenever that might be, the guests that do come into the park will see even the attention to detail, like I showed you the carousel with the bathroom upgrade, whatever we show. I hope that is viewed the way that we intended it to be, and you know, I guess we'll see what happens from there, right?
Yeah. No. Well, that's all I had. I truly thank and appreciate taking, you know, we've been talking for like an hour and a half, an hour, whatever.
Oh, wow.
But it's 4:56. I mean, that's fine. I could go on all night. But I really appreciate it. The fans appreciate it, especially during this tough time. We're just throwing dots, going, I don't know, this is going to happen, maybe. I don't know. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's just...
And, you know, I just hope everybody stays home where they need to be and stay safe. And we're going to do what we need to do to make sure that the park is preserved and is safe and is ready for viewing on the date that we do end up opening. We're going to hit the restrictions that we need to hit, and like I said, we're not going to compromise safety in any way to get a ride open. So if we don't have enough time to get to it, you know, I would rather tell somebody that unfortunately we had to keep it down for this year because I want to make sure those things open the way that they need to open so that everybody views them the way we want them to and safely.
Yeah.
So,
And then one thing I keep telling people, and hopefully, you know, people do this to get people to come back. Like when the park's open, I said make sure, even if you have a fan site or not, go Facebook Live or something to show what the parks look like when they open. Because if somebody that's on the fence sees that it's good, they'll be like, oh, okay, they're doing this, I'm going. Or somebody could take video and it's something bad that you guys did and go, I ain't going there. There's a catch-22, but I keep trying to tell people, like, show people, because if they see safety, they're more apt to go.
Right. And I think as the restrictions are lifted in every state, you're going to see, to your point, a lot more of that for parks. From a social point of view, is just to help the consumer understand that we're doing X, Y, and Z to make sure that the park is ready, every park. So, yeah, I think you're going to see a lot more reliance on that social feed. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
We want to show people stuff too. You gotta get back into the park.
Yeah, you can't get in there. Be like, I'll show you anything. I can't.
It's a challenge right now. But we're excited for the season. Even if it's a limited run, we're going to be excited for it. And like I said, after we get through 2020 and what's left of it, next year is our 175. So I think we're just going to come back and even hit that stronger. So this year is going to be strong, and next year will be stronger, and we'll keep building like we've been building the past couple of years. So
yeah, Yeah, and then any time that you get, whenever you do have like the creamery photos and stuff, if you could send some of those, we'll post them because people are kind of dying to see what they look like. Because there's a lot of people interested. Because that question came up quite a few times about the creamery. Because like people saw it, and then just because of the way it was filmed, they couldn't really get a good look at the creamery and all that. So even the stuff that you had from Nor'easter is even fine. If you can share that. I don't know what the rules are, but if you can.
Right. No, I'll next time I get on site, it's very limited when I'm able to get back on.
Yeah. No worries.
I'll get you some pictures of where that is at because if people really want to see that, absolutely. I have no problem sharing where it's at. It's just I just hope that we get everything completed the way that we anticipate it to be, so that the experience is there. But yeah, I have no issues with that. I mean, even if you wanted these horses pictures, I have those that you can have.
Yeah, whatever. Anytime. The way that we work is anytime we get any information at the park that says, hey, go post this for us, send it to us. It doesn't matter because I know you guys do like the dog races in the summer, and that the whole point of us is to promote what every park does. So if anytime you guys just need something, hey, maybe you guys want to see this because Six Flags and other parks, Edaville and stuff, they'll send us some stuff and we send it out and they love it. So I figured.
Right, we appreciate that relationship, and I'm glad that we have that established on Jerry's leadership, and hopefully it will continue as it was intended to. And I have no problem with that, absolutely. So if you have questions, don't be afraid to shoot me an email. Or when we do get to that opening day, we can start walking through the park, and I can give you all that tours that we used to do.
Well, because it's like once I know there's a date, because me and my dad, we own an automated lighting control business, to control the lights. So I told him, I said, I don't care if the day that we go back to work is the park opens, I'm going to the park. I'm like, you can go to the office, I'll go the next day. I'm like, this thing is driving me nuts. Like, I go to work and then, I want to go. I can't even go to the zoo. I can't do nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I got zoo passes. I can't do anything. It's driving me nuts.
Yeah, well, the governor, at least in Connecticut, has said at this moment that, they're looking at part of the rephasing, the reopening plan is at the end of May. If everything continues to shoot positive, you're going to see some zoos potentially open in Connecticut. So that's good, promising news that maybe the theme parks will follow behind that shortly.
Yeah.
So, keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's just going to be crazy. I mean, well, like you've said and we've all said, we're all in it together. We'll eventually get to where we get back to somewhat of a normal, whatever that may be, and then we'll be able to have fun again. We just gotta sit here and wait.
And that's what it is. And it's gonna be a new norm, whatever that might be, whatever that might look like for theme parks. We're gonna make sure we're doing exactly what we need to do to keep people safe and keep you guys happy, which is the caveat with all this. How do you sell that experience when it's a little different?
I know.
It's a different version of that experience. So
yeah.
Hopefully, the story will still come across that way, whatever that story is.
Yeah, I can't wait. Well, again, thank you again. I truly appreciate this, spending time with us today. And we'll talk soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, and have a great afternoon and good weekend.
Yeah, you as well. Stay safe, man. I'll see you soon.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.